All right, as we go out and share the good news, share our testimony, look for people of peace, we're going to encounter different responses to our message. And we're going to look at Acts 17, 32 to 34 to see the different responses that Paul encountered when he was in Athens. So let's look here, Acts 17, 32. He just preached to a crowd, and it says, "Now when they heard of the resurrection of the dead, some mocked, but others said, 'We will hear you again about this.' So Paul went on from their midst. But some men joined him and believed, among whom were Dionysius the Areopagite and a woman named Damaris, and others with them." So we see a few different responses here. We see people that mocked Paul and his message. And I'll just say, they were saying, "No, we don't believe, we don't want to follow you and believe this message." Then we have others that said, "Hey, we want to hear you more about this." So they were maybe interested, right? But not yet ready to follow Jesus, to surrender to him. And then finally, we have people that followed Paul and believed in him. And they said yes, right? They believed the message that Paul was preaching. And we can think about these three responses as a traffic light. So we have three different lights. Those who say no, those that mock, right? These are the red lights, okay? Those that are interested but are not yet ready to follow Jesus, these are the yellow lights. And those who are ready to believe, ready to follow, these are green lights. Now, we're also going to encounter one other response in most places we go, and that's people that say, "You know what, I'm already a Christian," or "I already follow Jesus." So you're going to see these four different responses as you go out looking for people of peace and sharing with people. Now, this is their response. Now, what should our response be? Okay, if we encounter a red light, what should our response be? Well, for red lights, we move on, right? We wipe the dust off our feet. We keep moving on, looking for those that God has prepared. Yellow light. What can we do with a yellow light? I want to encourage you to try starting a DBS, a Discovery Bible Study, using the yellow light stories. There's another video that will explain this in more detail, but we have this document that you can use, 3/3 or DBS, Discovery Bible Study, yellow light stories. And these stories help people who are interested learn more about the life, death, resurrection of Jesus and what it means to follow him. So you can read these with that person and hopefully their oikos, their family or their community. And then for those that say, "Yes, I want to follow Jesus," what do? We want to begin discipling them, right? And the way we can do that is with the DBS or 3/3 using green light stories or the commands of Christ. And on this same document, the first page is the yellow light stories. Okay, for people interested, those who are green lights, ready to follow Jesus, we have the green light stories. These are the commands of Christ that you can begin teaching them how to obey the command to repent and believe or be baptized, to make disciples, and so on. So begin doing this, a DBS, using this process and these different lessons with a green light. Now, what do we do with someone who says, "Hey, I'm already a Christian"? Here's what I encourage you to do. You can ask them, "Hey, are you interested in being trained? Would you like to learn how you can make disciples?" Teach them how to share their faith, how to do Luke 10, how to enter new places, how to share their testimony. And even you can ask them, "Hey, would you like to learn how to follow Jesus, to obey the commands of Jesus. And you can begin doing a DBS with the Green Light Stories. So these are the 4 different responses we will get as we go out and share broadly and boldly. And this is how we can respond when we encounter red lights, yellow lights, green lights, and those who are already Christians. So go ahead, practice this with somebody else. And then I want to encourage you, think about the people that are in your life. Are there any yellow lights that you need to go and ask to start a DBS with? Or green lights that you haven't followed up and began discipling them yet? And make plans to go and apply it.